Yes! Here we go!
Yo, KR, let's jump into the Reddit segment before we go to the main topics. I can tell you that I found a story that you will not guess the ending. So let's start first. You won't guess it. In a million years, you won't.
In a million years.
But as usual, I start with the banner just to show you the banner. Was I wrong for forbidding wife to talk to male friend?
I have a feeling sometimes that you're trying to set me up with these topics. But okay, continue.
That's what we call intuition, KR. So this is the
Wait,
story.
disclaimer that I will never forbid uh, anyone to talk to anyone. I'll just leave. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
Okay. So this is the story.
Yeah.
My wife, and I quote, my wife has a male friend that she has known for most of her life. I believe roughly 15 years. Roughly 15 years. For the most part, I never had an issue.
Mm. But then he found, what did he find?
One day,
Mm.
she is showing me something she thought was funny in her chat.
Mm.
As she was scrolling, I noticed a picture of her pants down while she was in the restroom. I told her I do not like that and that she shouldn't be talking to this friend anymore. So,
Why? What? She took a picture and sent it to her friends.
yeah. So that's
Okay.
probably, so she was probably showing him something that she thought was funny in the chat between her friend and him. And as she was scrolling, she he noticed a picture of her pants down while she was in the restroom. I told her I do not like that and that she shouldn't be talking to this friend anymore, this friend of 15 years. Had a long argument over this actually. Ended up leaving to my mother's house for about a week. We finally talk again and she agrees that it was not something that should have happened and she will no longer speak to him.
Uh,
Are you ready? 1 year later, she gets a call. Her friend of 15 years and his mom
passed away.
were unalived by his father-in-law. Now she's screaming at him, at me. So she's screaming at me saying, I should have let her be a better friend and that I ruined her friendship over nothing. So she's asking whether she was, so the guy is asking actually whether he was wrong for forbidding the wife to talk to the male friend.
Is that the
There's
end
a,
of the story?
there's an update afterwards, but this is the first part. Yeah,
I know what the end is.
you don't know what the end is.
Someone unalived themselves.
No, that's not it.
Okay, okay.
First,
I was close. I was
okay.
close.
Well, let me just give you the reactions first,
Mhm,
maybe, and then
mhm.
her and his update. So the reactions were, can you give me more info about the picture, please? When you said a picture of her pants were down in a restroom, I picture a photo taken or something else while she sat on the toilet and that you can see her pants are down by her ankles. That's where my head jumped to by the wording. I agree. The wording isn't that clear. Uh, Another person said, and then he reacted to that. Another person said that wouldn't have saved him. So him not forbidding the wife to talk to the friend wouldn't have saved the friend.
Mm.
She's grieving and hurt, and she didn't get to talk to him, but she agreed what she did was inappropriate. So they're saying she agreed to it, and so she needs to be just keep herself accountable.
Accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another version said, and I'm talking about the popular answers, right? This is beyond Reddit, but we can say your wife should go to therapy and probably you should also go together at least once. Uh, every comment, every thread, KR, every thread can be a show because people just want to fight, man. I don't get this. It's just people are just, man. Lastly, based on your comment history, it seems you and your ex-wife slash wife go back and forth about the nature of this relationship. So this is probably not the first one.
Yeah.
Based on your ages from other posts, it seems this was a childhood friend that passed away. This is not for Reddit. Real relationship counseling and individual therapy is needed here. And so on and so forth. Now the update, care. The update is as follows.
She was also on the list.
No,
Continue. Ah,
because let's remember this was remember, Kara, this was the story wasn't really well
written.
written, right? So it didn't really express himself. So they were asking about the picture. So what kind of picture was it? The picture in the restroom. And
Mhm.
so he's
Oh no! Continue.
no, I don't. Whatever you think it is, I don't think you'll
Okay,
guess it.
you didn't think I guessed it. Agree.
And his update is as follows. This was about 6 months ago, and on the picture, I can't really say if it was intimate or not. To be completely honest, only because they were friends for a long time. But it was a picture of her backside towards the mirror with only a t-shirt and underwear. And the message directly under said, and I quote, "Can you see the hole?"
Hell of a friend. What a friend.
When I asked her what that meant, she said it was about a hole in her undies. So the way I see it, KR, there are two ways to look at this, right? Two scenarios, and I want your reaction to both of them.
Is that the end
Uh,
of the
yeah,
update?
yeah, yeah. So I want your
I
reaction
thought
to
there was some.
I want the reaction to both of them, right? Or
Yeah.
like Shannon Sharp says, capital B, capital O, capital F, both. There's a scenario where the friend is just a friend and they're just like intimate like that, but nothing more than just making jokes like that. And there's a scenario where there is something. First and foremost, what do you think? Do you think that there's something there?
You're talking about childhood friends, right?
I mean, they've known each other for 15 years.
How old are they?
Yeah, so their ages are, let me check real quick. Doesn't say here. Doesn't say here. No,
So
doesn't say
they
here.
were. So if they've known each other for 15 years, then she is max 22.
If they are childhood friends, then yes. Yes.
Doesn't say anything about the age. 15 years. That's not a love. If you're in your 30s, that's not childhood friends. But okay. Um. So it really depends on when they knew each other. So if it's really from kindergarten or basically very young, I would say yeah. They
Yeah.
might have
So
dabbled. They might have dabbled, but
yeah. So they were at the time 20. The guy was 26 and 27, and the ex-wife now or soon. That's what it said. Well, in a recent post, like about a month ago, uh, he's referring to the woman as soon to be ex-wife. So, but
okay.
she's 26, so around that age. So 15
Okay.
years, 26,
11. 11.
11, yeah, yeah. So primary school actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I guess they figured out that it's not a good thing. She's still blaming him. Um. as if it would have saved.
Change the
Yeah.
altered the yeah.
But then again, you would have another year with a friend. You would talk to him, and you would grieve even more. Um. So, what's it? Was he wrong for forbidding? I don't believe in forbidding, to be honest. Forbidding people to talk to certain people, unless they're very toxic. Um. In this case, I don't have enough information to determine whether this is the case. But in general, I mean these things. It's not like either the guy has been. How long have they been married?
Uh,
These things, the thing, but the problem I have is most of these stories is people figure out stuff after they have married. You need to figure this stuff out before you get married during the relationship.
yeah. So um and I should to be extra. So they had a previous so they had a relationship in 2015, 2016, and then they stopped and I guess they started again, something like that. But but
This
I
is
think
or weird.
sometimes Carrie, you know what happens sometimes? Major happenings in someone's life can really change someone's perspective drastically.
Yeah.
So the loss of a loved one, the pain of betrayal, those
Hmm.
things can really change someone like completely. And that's why I think when something like this happens, it might indicate that there was already a problem there. There was already something there because usually if a woman really is into the man or vice versa, something like this wouldn't be a deal breaker. So it probably they already had some problems and she just needed some emotional uh
Support.
what?
Support.
No, not emotional support. I'm saying so the emotional burden had to be heavy enough for her to make the choice to leave him.
Oh, you mean like that? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you mean with the friend. Oh, no, no, no.
no, no, no. I mean, I have to say that your relationship with childhood friends,
It's
female
different.
childhood friends, are different. So usually when I have a couple of female childhood friends, the relationship, even though we rarely talk, it's like different, right? But
Mhm.
we've never sent pictures in our underwears to each other. You understand? But some
So
people do
what
that.
I mean. So
Yeah.
it depends. Like you can be. So this is the thing, right? Just because your childhood friend doesn't mean you don't have sex at a later age.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that blurs the line as well.
True. True.
That blurs the line. So that's why there is not enough information to give a decisive, a specific answer to this question because I don't
Yeah.
know enough, and I don't like to.
Well, I think your answer. Yeah, but I think your answer is uh would be no. You're not wrong in the sense that it didn't lead to what happened with the friend of the wife. But on the other hand, should you forbid someone, I think you should give someone an option, and that option can be an ultimatum if it's a real deal breaker for you, and if it's a deal breaker, then it's a choice you have to make. He offered her that choice, and she took it, and she said, well, he forbid it. I think if he had said, you know what, it's either, you stay, if you stay with me, I don't want you to keep talking to her. That's kind of forbidding, right? In a soft way. So
Passive
I
aggressively.
yeah, the passive aggressive way, but I think everyone has the right to, set their boundaries.
You should.
And
Not
yeah,
right. You should.
if that was his boundaries, I mean, if my I don't know how I would act if my girl has a picture of her back towards a mirror with nothing but a shirt and underwear saying, "Can you see the hole?" I mean,
That's
where's the first part? Where are you gonna look first, KR?
that's
The
it's
ear? Come on, man.
that's why I asked. So this is why you need more information because if they have that, relationship with each other, then you there is another angle to that. Some people can have relationship with each and break up because they were childhood friends. They break up and it's still good. Hey man, whatever happens, hey,
Yeah,
it's
guys.
a
Yeah,
sad story though. Maybe he saved her life. Maybe he saved her life by breaking up. Maybe she could have been at the place when they were being unalived, and then she would have went to the gulags with her best friend.
yeah.
And then the,
They
the
would have enough time to spot
oh,
the hole.
oh
Guys, let us know in
the
the
whole,
comment.
yo, that would have been
No,
crazy.
no. Was she fortune telling? Hey, guys, let us know in the comment. This took a turn for the worst.
Let's
And
start the,
here I thought we handled it pretty well. and, there,
let's start the show, man. Let's start
and
it.
there you go.
This is crazy, yo. This
Guys, let
is
us know in the
crazy.
comment section what you think. With that being
We should
said,
go into it.
yeah,
Well,
stay,
maybe
yeah, just let us know. Press one in the chat if you think that he was wrong, and press two in the chat if you think that he was right for winning. Welcome on to another edition of the Double Touch Show. As you guys know, before we proceed, um, before we proceed, remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the show by pressing the like button, share the video with your friends, your family, and your enemies, and don't forget to comment. Let us know your thoughts and opinions as well. In today's show, we have a very interesting couple of topics we want to discuss, and of course, we want to hear your ideas as well. We're gonna start first with the Tate brothers being arrested once more. Word on the street is, or at least if there's a lesson to be learned, is that you shouldn't tell everybody everything. We're gonna talk about will.i.am is beats by Dr. Dre. Um, we're gonna talk about the story behind that, and we're also gonna talk about we're also gonna talk about
Mike
the
Tyson. Don't forget about Mike Tyson.
I'm gonna talk about Mike Tyson, and we're gonna talk about Shaggy as well. Landed that smoothly, I guess, as smooth as possible.
Hey, at least you're not flying it like a Boeing.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, stay tuned. Of course, guys, this is an open platform, so let us know your thoughts and opinions, and please subscribe. It really means a lot to us. It would only take you 2 seconds to do so, and it would mean the eternity. The consequences would be eternal for us. So please do so. Subscribe and show us your support. Let's move to the first topic.
Yes, man. Talking about people getting in a hole. Tate brothers have been put in a hole yet again. Arrested in Romania. And is extradition coming? Hey, man, I saw the when I saw the news about this. I was like, this must be a joke because basically they were building. Romania was basically building a case against the Tates, and the case wasn't going nowhere for a couple of months. And all of a sudden, I read, I think it was last week on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, not sure anymore, but that he would get extradited to the UK for what they call this, this case is crazy. How do they call it? They call it let me see. The allegation is that he's been, oh man, I can't find it real quick. It's kind of a pushy. It's not SA. They're not saying it's SA. They're saying he's been kind of pushing towards.
Yeah.
I was like, well, people get arrested for this thing as well.
I
But
think I think the S was the same. The A was something else. It was as if he was the aggressor. I would think.
aggressive, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
He was
something. Yeah,
aggressive.
yeah. Well, I was like, what is this? Man? It's not even. It's not SH. It's not SA. It's not. It's not trafficking. What he's been accused of before. Now we are trying to take the man down for some random stuff. Then I heard the story about these girls that are alleging this story have been trying to get them in court already, but this was dismissed before or something like that because of um lack of
Evidence or
proof
something.
evidence. And amen. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, we need to see, right? The first time that they got arrested, it was already a bit shady, and it really seemed as though they were reaching. You know, um, Romania is a beautiful country, but it's also known to be a lot of people get paid. A lot of officials have side jobs. They have side hustles. So they get a salary here and they take some money there. Oftentimes they get paid below the table, uh,
Allegedly.
allegedly. So it's not. What I want to say is that it's highly a possibility, and I think that's what people are saying as well. Supporters of Tate, I have to say, is that it's all a scam. You know, they're trying to frame him and so on and so forth. I mean, we can believe or think anything that we want, but at the end of the day, what's important, or at least what really matters, is whether there's a case here or not. And you can only determine that based on the documents, so court documents, maybe, or court orders, warrants, those type of things. In this case, I don't know all the details. I don't think a lot of people do, but supporters of him automatically say, "Oh, they're trying to silence him," and the defenders, the haters of him, or at least the opposers of him, of them, are like, you see, they're getting the confirmation by, well, both are getting the confirmation bias, I guess, but they're
Yeah, that's
saying,
crazy, right?
yeah, but they're saying, you see, there has to be something there. Someone can't be arrested twice if there's really nothing going on there. So both sides have confirmation bias. At the end of the day, we need to, yeah, just wait and see what will come out of it. But in the first case, I mean, they arrested him for a couple of months, and then that didn't seem
They
like they had
released him, and the case was dwindling down because there
yeah
was nothing there.
nothing there. No, no.
First they were arrested, then they were released with house arrest. Then they were free to move within the country, and now they are free to move everywhere. So that tells you a lot about the case. It's not going anywhere. So I think, um, yeah, let's see what it turns into. But this seems like a funny. The
Isn't that
story is funny.
yeah? Isn't England the same? Because it's a English. It was a
It was from the UK.
yeah UK.
The
Yeah,
request.
wasn't the UK who was at the point of breaking in a, what's it called, an embassy?
These two
Yo,
talking about it. R.I.P. to him. He's still alive, but R.I.P. to him.
is it though? I mean,
That's a
it's,
good question. That's a good question. They're still trying to battle for that extradition.
yeah.
They don't care. I mean I've heard about some stories. I mean it's not Canada level yet, but they have been there is a law in place. Was it in the UK or was it Canada? I can't remember. They are both as clownish as they come, but there was, I think it was UK. If you, yeah, it was UK. If you misgender someone, you can
That
get.
was Canada.
Was it Canada?
Yeah,
Let me,
Trudeau.
give me 2 seconds. Let me look it up real quick because I know where I saw it.
All right.
Mm. But yeah, it's crazy. If you think about it, And I think Tate pointed it out as well on Twitter and on his Rumble on his Rumble streams. Like UK has a lot of more important things to worry about than Tate. The high crime rate, the poking that's going on in the streets, the high amount of it's like they're like in medieval times there, where you have in the US they have a lot of blicky violence in UK. They're still
Yeah, bro.
fighting with swords. So
Yeah, yeah.
Agar!
Zero. My name is Zero.
But hey, it's crazy. It's
Terrible
crazy.
accent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible accent, and I thought I was the one who had
Yeah,
all
you
the
are. You are. You are. The one doesn't exclude the other.
bomba clat
Bomba clad. Yeah. So, um,
in Canada. Tate is lucky. Tate is lucky that what happened there. Anyway, Tate
Tate's lucky that.
is lucky that he's not involved into Canada because they would have tried to get him a long time ago already.
Yeah.
With the great guy they have down there of up there, Justin Trudeau,
Yeah.
allegedly, because he's trying to lock everyone up who also mentions his name. So
Yeah.
hey,
Well, they should start with. Oh yeah, you mean Trudeau's locking everyone that's mentioning his name? I guess.
oh well, he's trying to. Well, there have been for anything that's slightly not within the spectrum that they allow, they want to lock up. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. But talking about people who are talking, apparently Aiden Ross is the person who basically ignited this horrible situation. Apparently, he was the one who told it all live on stream. As the bobbies, as they say, the bobbies were watching him, and they were like, "Oi, mate, oi, we need to get this bloke.
Why
We
do
need
you
to get
sound?
this bloke named Tate before
Why?
he escapes."
Why do you sound like an old American? You don't even sound like.
It's called. It's called. It's not old American. It's called the King's English.
It's not the King's English, man.
Really
Can you
fuck.
hear it?
It's maybe the King's Men. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is but before I continue, fair use as usual. Let's take a look what Aiden had to say on his kick stream about this whole Tate situation.
Really fucked up. And Andrew Tate's team confirmed that I fucked up. And Tate told me, right? I fucked up. And thank God he did not get put back in there because I would have felt really guilty.
Oh,
Tate
no.
had spoke to me and he said, dude, just come to Romania. I want to give my people and your people what they want to see. Let's do some content. You're okay, and I forgive you. Because I apologize. I felt really fucking bad, bro. Like really bad. And I really feel bad about that. And I'm sorry. I honestly did not mean for that to happen. My motive and my reason speaking about location was because I didn't want to get swatted. So I basically, which was really stupid, really fucked up. And
Yo, man, I think this guy is a liability. He's a liability for himself.
You think?
He's a
Oh, you know.
liability. Man.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
know.
I think because the last couple, I mean, first he got bamboozled by 21 Savage. Then
Then he got bamboozled by Cardi.
he got by Cardi. Now he bamboozled someone else. Like now he proved he's a liability for someone else.
He's a fuck.
And there's also the other thing, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah.
Hey, it's crazy if you think about it. I mean, first of all, you would think. So what I think one thing you can take as a conclusion out of this is that if you have any secrets, if you're trying to rob a bank, please don't tell Aiden before it happens, because he's gonna tell everyone, "Hey man, I've heard this great story. This guy's gonna rob a bank. You know what would be cool? You know what would be cool? If I would record it, and you guys stand at that corner and record it as well. What do you think about it?"
Nah, man.
Before you know it, the whole gang is trying to sing like YSL.
Yeah. And when they put him on the stand, you know what he'll say? I feel really, really bad about this. I really feel bad. And I told him that as well. I told the guys as well. I feel really bad that I messed up the operations. But yeah, I just thought I'd tell it. That's a liability right there.
That's definitely a liability. And hey, the fact he says, I would have felt really bad if he was locked up.
So it's not now it's just bad.
It's just
But you
bad.
would have
You just didn't get him hamped up. Now he has to he has to add a bunch of expenses to fight this case again.
yeah.
He's gonna get extradited, probably, maybe, who knows? But he has to fight it. I guess. Hey, sometimes with friends like these, you don't
Who
need
needs
ops.
enemies?
You don't need no ops. Your friends will set you up. Hey, they even set themselves up.
Yeah.
Adrian continues to set himself up. Let's talk about that story, because that happened in the same week. Actually, I would almost think it happened on the same night.
It's the same stream, right?
It was almost the same stream, because then academics called in, and I don't know what is going to this guy's mind.
Who's
I
guy?
really don't know.
Aiden.
Aiden. Aiden thought it was a cool story to tell who he bent over.
4.
Hmm?
Who he bent over for, or who he bent over?
Who he bent over.
Okay, okay.
I don't know where you got that information from.
By I got it from Sexy Red's response.
Hey man, sexy red. So this is again fair use. This is him calling with the Ack. Hey, shout out to Axe, man. Ack, man. Ack is a legend in the game of hip hop, internet hip hop. And shout out to Aiden as well. But Aiden, come on, dude. You can't be doing this on live, setting yourself up. This is what he had to say.
Huh?
I want to announce something, but I don't know if I should say it.
First of all, he's just announcing it. It's not like people twist his arm to get it out of him. This dude is just spilling it out like it's nothing. Okay.
Say it.
You know, don't you?
Look at Hack's face. Look at Hack's face. Like, what is this? What we're talking about? Let me zoom in. Can I zoom in here?
I did fuck Sexy Red.
Okay. Fuck it. There we go. Some truth. How was it?
It was good. It was really good.
Stop.
You throwed it back. You can handle it.
Nah, she was kind of being the dominant one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I seen it, you seen that sex tape of hers drop, like it's always this chick that
I jerked off to it, and that's what made me hit her up.
you're lying.
No, I'm being for real.
You don't like black girls though.
I do.
I think you're intimidated by black women. I'm serious.
Yeah, what is-
No, I'm not.
You have a Latina fetish, and that's a fact.
No, how the fuck do you know that?
My dude.
This dude. And that was not the end of the whole thing. Because after this call, Sexy Red, I mean, everyone is taking an L in this situation. Because not only did Sexy Red respond, Sexy Red responded with this. You paid me to take your V card, and I did just that. Next. Before we continue to whatever happened after, RJ.
Yeah. So the first thought that comes to mind is, why would you talk about it? You don't kiss and tell. That's not what gentlemen do. Come on. But then again, I guess telling is his thing, right? That
He's like the
what do they
ARM.
call it?
He's like
The-
the ARM of streams.
What do they call it? Shtick. That's his shtick.
Yo, does he have enough chutzpah?
That's his thing. That's his shtick. Uh, yeah. So that's the first thing, right? The second day when I saw the response, I thought to myself,
Everyone-
is this woman really saying out loud that
She's doing tricks.
that there was that she was tricking? Like, was she that's the first thing I thought, like, basically saying
real?
money for act. Is she really saying that she was doing some tricking?
Bro.
That's why I'm saying, KR, that's gonna be my thing for this year. We're living in a simulation.
It's gotta be real. It seems like so she dropped this at 12:36 a.m.
12:30. Okay, she was okay.
12:36 a.m. Then about 2 hours and 50 minutes later, 2:48 a.m. She said, "Psych, couldn't touch me with a stick."
That's when the lawyers called. That's after the lawyers
Oh,
called.
I'm not sharing my screen. My bad. My bad.
The lawyers or the manager.
Look at the responses. Sure. Too late. Too late. Too late, dude. I'm gonna dump you with this.
What?
He didn't hit for free though. He didn't hit for free. He paid.
Man.
Oh man. Let me stop. Let me stop scrolling because before I get into any pictures that might not be a good idea. Hey man, but yeah, everyone is taking an L in this situation.
Yeah,
First of
everyone.
all, the guy starts telling it all. I mean, shut up, man. You just close your mouth, keep it under wraps, keep it to you. And if you're paying, the only people who should know you're paying is you and her. Well, it should if you got it as well. I'm not saying only paying. And then she comes in and starts talking about, yeah, you paid just a minute to prostitution.
Yeah.
Just a minute. So first of all, for the people who are not aware, these are things that are happening behind the scenes. I mean, we've all heard those stories that certain people are paying
But I don't think we've ever seen
someone admitting it.
people admitting it live. So on their own accounts, man.
Bruh,
On their own account.
everyone is low IQ in this situation. Come on, man. Come on, you cannot be this. Oh man. No, I'm not gonna use the word because I love that word, but I cannot use it.
Okay, tell me afterwards. Nah, but it's like you said, they're all low
man.
IQ. What?
The R word.
Yeah, they're all low IQ. So
But yeah.
yeah, it's everyone's low IQ here, and I think when the lawyer called, it was like Mrs. Red, Miss Red,
Yeah. Mama rat these days, right?
Mama Red. Uh, did you just you need to retract what you said because you just admitted to tricking. One thing I'm also thinking about, but this is just my.
Is this trafficking as well if it over the state?
I'm not gonna.
Yo, did she say Adin just trafficked her?
Come on, stop it.
Yo, hey, Fanny, where are you, Fanny? Let's start smoking these streamers. Let's Let's start opening the room so guys like us can come up. Fanny, call me. Give me a call, Gorilla Grippy.
Yeah, I don't need to. Yeah, you talk. Yeah, I'm not going to. The story is funny, but I'm not going to wish the demise of anybody. I just wish that people think before they tweet.
I'm of the opinion you gotta help people towards their goal, and if their goal is jail, you should give them
So I guess there's nothing different between Aiden Ross and you.
The difference is I don't snitch on people. I just help them.
I
I
got
give
you.
them the platform to express themselves.
I got you. Got you. Nah, man. Yeah. So, um, yeah, that's all. We'll keep a track. We'll keep an eye out on this. But this is the second time in very short time span that Aiden Ross has been a topic of discussion
Yeah.
for
It's a sad thing.
yeah, for not positive things. In any case, all the best to everyone. Yeah, I hope that uh when Aiden hit, it wasn't when Sexy was pregnant.
Oh my God. Why the now, wait a second. Wait a second.
I mean, she just had the baby. She just had the baby.
Try to avoid that. I try
She,
to avoid that. And now you bring this into this.
well, okay, we can proceed. We can proceed. More power to the baby.
More clubbing to the baby. It's the baby. It's the baby. Does the baby
Stop,
have
stop, stop. Stop it.
you open the door? How do you do that's the baby. Let's let us
Stop.
investigate the baby. Does he have a dent?
Stop it. Stop it. Oh man, let's go. Next one.
Hey man.
Let's
Talking
let's move
about
on. Heading. Yo.
people.
Look at the transition. Look at that transition. Look at that. Speaking of hitting people in the head,
People
Jake
get
Paul versus
in the
Mike
head, man.
Tyson.
Is Mike Tyson about to get clubbed in the head by Jake Paul? There is like an age gap, a humongous age gap. But then again, they're gonna fight each other. It's gonna be on Netflix. First time I heard of Netflix ever doing a live broadcasting of any sports event, so that's gonna be interesting. But according to people responding to this fight now, it seems like the rules are a bit funny. They have been. I mean, of course, it's going to be a. It's going to be a exhibition match, like the one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's an exhibition match.
Because some people are saying, yeah, read somewhere that it wasn't clear whether it would be a real fight or an exhibition match. And I thought to myself, this can never be a real fight. It needs to be like an exhibition match.
It has to be. Even the last time when I think it was 2 years ago during the uncle during the Uncle Vid, he fought Jones, right, in the exhibition. So I think there's gonna be an exhibition. I mean,
but every time I hear it, it's
professionally your license has to be activated, right? So that's not gonna work, I think.
Well, the way I see it, KR, is that it seems to me like every time there's a Jake Paul fight, and let's be clear that he is a fighter though. So maybe he's not like a boxer, but he's not like a newbie either.
No, at this point, you cannot say he's a newbie.
He knows how to fight. He has the power, and so on and so forth. I would also say that he's a very wise man. I say it because he picks his opponents wisely. Looking for the
let's take a look at the next bum we're gonna fight against. Oh, he's never boxed in his life. Oh, let's put a boxing gloves on him and rate him up as the greatest fighter ever in his sport.
Yeah, but it's like you have great I mean, let's be honest, KR. boxing is probably the sport where the most rigged sport in history. So to be honest, I'd rather watch a fight between Jake Paul, celebrity fights, exhibition fights.
You know what wasn't rigged?
What the
You gotta
Ochocinco?
get punched in this face.
Yeah, that I thought
Welcome
you
to the legend. What?
I thought you were gonna say the Chad Johnson. He also, he also
No,
fought.
no, I'm talking about real fights. I'm talking about real fights.
But the thing is, yeah. So I understand what people are saying, but boxing's been rigged. It's clear that it's a
What do you mean by rigged?
there's always there's always uh not always, but in big fights, you not oftentimes, but I would say more than often get res, certain decisions at the end. Let's say if it doesn't have end in a knockout, if it needs to the fight needs to be determined, the winner needs to be determined by voting, that the votes the people so the votes don't align, the outcome doesn't align with the real fight.
Okay, I'm
And
continue, and I'm gonna
yeah,
respond to
okay.
that because I know what
so
you're saying.
so people realize that. And so I think what Jake Paul is doing is very smart for himself and for the business. He's making a lot of money doing this, and you can get mad all you want to, but what he's doing is he's getting big names of people who are either retired or not in their prime, or people who are not boxers but they have big names, and then he fights against them. And that's a great way to that's a great way to get the viewers. You get the
It's all
fight,
about the viewers. It's all about the viewers.
and if when he wins and off, I think up to this point he won all fights, I guess. um Indirectly people will say, oh, he beat insert big name. he must be he must be a great fighter. Just like a player from now go play against Jordan into over 20 years, and then he'll say, I'm not, yeah, I beat Jordan, I beat the best. It's like, yeah, technically you did, but you didn't. So
Man has one foot in the grave. What are you talking about? Hey, to answer your remark earlier. So this is the thing. I've known this since I was a kid. The thing with boxing is, and I think that relating to the ruling you said, the ruling is basically if someone is the champion, that's his unwritten rule. I think it's even written probably. I've heard it all my life. If the if the person who's fighting the champion doesn't beat him, clearly beat him, he cannot win. The champion always has the advantage. So if you're half ass beating him, you cannot win because you have to clearly show it that you're better. That's the idea behind that. I was thinking you were referring to the rigging as of setting up opponents because that's one thing that has been happening very clearly with a lot of fighters throughout their career. They set up people to lose. They prop up people, make them like the greatest fighter ever, and then put them up to fail, basically. And
okay.
and when people when fighters, so you have that's how they built the status of a god in boxing. You hear all these stories when Wilder was fighting people. He was beating everyone up, knocking out people until he fought someone who could box. And then he got his car cleaned 3 times. Well, 2 times. And then one was a draw. And it happens a lot of times in boxing where they basically prop up and they put these upcoming guys against taxi drivers, against butchers, and I'm not talking about people who are butchers in the ring. They are butchers outside of the ring, in a shop, actually,
Yeah.
to be precise. And all types of people, accountants. They put people up just to get that record up to 30-0. And then if you look at who they really fought, no one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I was referring to that.
Yeah. And I agree. I agree that they build you up and so on and so forth.
Oh,
But to say that, but to say that you don't need to half-ass it. A good fight will always be a tight. It will always be a tight fight. And so, yeah, people just like seeing celebrities.
oh, that's true. That's true.
So
Everyone
if
wants,
a good fight is always a tight fight, but people would rather see celebrities than seeing a good fight because yeah, and boxing isn't really what it is, what it used to be anymore. UFC has taken over the fighting sport
Yep.
ranking. It's like the best, the top ranking, and they keep on growing. Boxer remained the same. Remained at the same place, and it didn't evolve. It didn't do anything. So
I'm curious though. Now that you're saying that, I want to see the revenue that the UFC gets on a yearly basis versus these boxing, because of course boxing is done not under one banner. So I
no,
would like to know how
yeah,
that looks, because I mean, fighters, people who are boxing for a reason, and
yeah.
that's why some MMA
Childhood
guys.
trauma.
So that's why some MMA guys would rather go box and get the clock cleaned by a paw
Yeah,
than go into a UFC cage, because the payment you get in one fight is far exceeds what you get from UFC. But then again, for UFC is then the whole system that they put up, and then they get more money.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it's looking crazy out here. 55-year-old. Oh no, it's not 55. I think Tyson is in his 57.
It's
He's
57. Yeah.
57, and Paul is 27. So it's we'll see. We'll see how this ends, man. I hope we don't see a legend getting his cock cleaned by a clown.
Yeah.
That would be a sad. That would be a sad sight, man.
But I
But then,
think, but I like again, it's good. It's good entertainment. Entertainment.
are you going to watch it? Let me ask you this.
I never watch it. No,
Okay.
no, I don't. I just watch the result, and I think the reason why I don't watch them, especially when if there's your hero, if they're your heroes or not
Mhm.
your heroes, as in, but you look up to them, is that I don't want to see a fight, see Paul win, and see Tyson end up, let's say, as less of a legend than he was previously. So if he wins, that would be great. But he tells you himself on his podcast, it's not the same animal anymore. It's not the same beast anymore. I don't know if he wants to go back there because he's a very, I mean, on his podcast, very great person to talk to, very interesting person to talk to. But
Yep.
he can switch from one moment to the next, and so, but you want that to remain. You want his legend to remain intact,
Yeah.
and to see like someone come and take it away, that to me would be a shame.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck to all of them, and we'll follow it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Shaggy discusses his signature voice. So I think last week or the week before that, there was like people were shocked actually. People were shocked that Shaggy's voice isn't Mr. Lover Lover. The thing is, people who have been hear him talk before have heard this as well. Have you heard? Did you hear his original voice?
Yeah, I did.
In the past, before this.
Nope. Nope. Never.
So you heard this is the first time you've heard it.
Yep.
Okay. Let's play it. Let's play it real fast. Um with that being so let's fair use. Fair use. Fair use. Now it doesn't want to work. Come on, man. Are they joking? Let's try this again.
Yeah, one time, Mr. Lover. Yeah. But I got this voice by mocking drill instructors in the military. Because in the Marines, the drill instructors would go, "Hey, boy, drop and give it 20. Let's go, boy." And I would mock them as a form of joking because it motivated, your platoon. I just sang that song in that voice because, it sounded cool. And all of a sudden, "Oh Carolina" blew up, and now I'm faced with a situation that I'm going to have to sing every song like that. If you listen to songs like "Big Up" or "Mumpy," those songs are sung in a different voice than "Oh Carolina." "Girl, if you part time, you're above expense." It's a different tone. It is not the same tone as I would on, "Oh Carolina."
Yeah, people have been shocked about this, man. Their childhood dreams, their childhood hero doesn't talk like this.
Yeah.
Well, it happens with a lot of rappers, artists, right? They change their voice. I've 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 heard his voice like around 2024, like 10 years ago, when I was at a one of these music conferences. He was sitting there doing an interview. I was like, okay, Mr. Lover Lover. It's not Mr. Lover Lover. It's just a voice. And you have guys like West Side Gun as well. Who has that? He's a rapper. Who has like his like a kid voice. First time I heard it, I was like, "Who's this kid rapping?" And then I went look up, and it was a grown ass man who's rapping. But yes, let me know. What do you think about this?
Hey, business is business, man. The guy seems like the guy went to make a joke or did try to do something one time, and it worked so well he was forced to do it years, the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you're a teenager, you see people and you see them, you think that's how they really are in real life, right? Some people still believe it as grown-ups.
Yep.
So they can see someone like, for example, the guy that played King Joffrey, and they might see him in a grocery store and just call him an asshole. But the guy was playing a role. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a lot of people,
Red James.
so a lot of people, well, to me, it never really interested me whether that was his voice or not. And his songs are good. So to me, it was really not an issue. And some people were really like shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it was like, this is entertainment, your musicians, your actors, they're all they all have an alter ego.
What you see is not real.
No.
Sometimes you gotta be in the back, while others are at the front, being the face of a product. Think we can switch then to will.i.am, because will.i.am also revealed how he made millions from Dr. Dre. Let me take it real quick. Yes, I have it ready. Fair use.
From tour one day, and I'm like, "Yo, Jimmy, bro."
Oh man, I cannot play this. I'm just hearing the background sound right now.
Just background
Like
music.
part of beats. No one knew it. I just was equity show.
Yeah. So basically, huh?
We can't. We can't
We
play it.
can, yeah, we can play it. So basically, he tells the story about how he was talking to Jimmy Iovine, And Jimmy was he said to Jimmy, God, we need to start making products ourselves instead of doing all these endorsements. And then like a year later, Jimmy I think came back to him um saying that they wanna whether he would be interested to be a partner in a headphone venture with Dr. Dre. He said, I'm in. I'm in right away. And he was basically you can say a silent partner in the venture. And how did they showed the very first Beats by Dre ad? Guess who was in it? will.i.am. So
Oh,
basically,
yeah.
they leveraged basically his stardom along with other people to promote this product, and he made a couple of good penny, a pretty good penny out of this as a in the background. So no one knew he was well in the. I'm talking about public, right? People probably knew in the business, but it wasn't a common knowledge. So
Yeah. No, that's what you said is true. Being in business is something that, I mean, you measure it by the amount of money you have in your bank, not by the amount of people who like you or follow you, right? So a lot of people misconstrue popularity with being rich, and they think that you have to be in the spotlight. So you need to be, in order to become popular, you need to be rich. But that's not true. You can be popular without being rich. And will.i.am made a conscious decision to not to remain in the background, remain as a silent partner, something that Aiden Ross will never be able to do, and to get some money so he can yeah, just keep on moving. will.i.am is a very great producer, great music. I would consider him like a can you put him in the category of Ye as it relates to testing out new sounds and stuff? I mean, it does seem to push barriers oftentimes. Um,
he pushes barriers. Yes, I
yeah,
don't know if
so
it's yay level, but he does his own thing. Let's put it that way.
yeah,
He does his own thing.
and so yeah, I didn't know about this, but more, I mean, all the best to him. Great, it was a great investment. It proved to be a great investment, and just goes to show you that you can live a very rich life without necessarily being known to the public.
Yes. Last but not least, New Jersey father arrested for storming into classroom. So the story goes as follows. An angry dad has been arrested after he stormed into a high school classroom and confronted a student who he accused of H. Singh, his daughter. Aaron, 38, burst into the class near Philadelphia on Monday morning. The father from nearby Gibbstown arrived at the school at 11:30 a.m. to pull his daughter out of the class, but then decided to confront the other student. The video recorded by another student showed Thomas confronted the student and demanded that he apologize to his daughter, who was near the door. You got a problem with my daughter? Apologize to my daughter, he demanded. The teenager repeatedly protested that he did nothing to her as Thomas towered over him. You've heard what the F I said. Apologize to my daughter now. The boy said that the teenage girl had pictures of me and my mama, but it was unclear what the photos were and what exactly was he was accusing her of doing. An affidavit of probable cause only explained that the teenage girl was having problems with another student over photos that were shared. No further details about the nature of the photos was released. The question is, was the daughter set up by the so was the father set up by the daughter? Did she tell him half of the story and he came to her rescue?
Well, I don't know, but I do know that it is a pattern, right? It's a pattern that um, women get men into trouble by calling, for backup. Basically, calling for backup. Now, on the one hand, I think that it's like double,
It's
because on the
double.
other hand, as a
Mm,
parent,
You don't want this.
especially of a daughter, you will step up. So I guess a stepping up is one thing, and whether the daughter told the whole story, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I think in some instances, it can definitely warrant a parent walking to a kid and say, "Hey, you know what? Stop doing this to my daughter," because the kid needs to know that no jokes
You
will
have
be
to
played
back.
with. Yeah, no jokes will be played by my daughter. But for every legitimate cases, there are also illegitimate cases, because we know a lot of stories. You and I, we've discussed them on this platform as well, KR,
Yeah.
where a female will call his brother or his
Oh,
boyfriend,
he
I
did
mean,
cover that very long time ago, right?
yeah, well, a year
Yes.
ago, a year and something ago, yeah,
Yeah, that's a
and
long time ago. In
yeah, okay,
That's
yeah,
like
okay,
how about we're now at episode 142? That's like episode 10 or something like that.
maybe I can't recall,
Yeah.
but in any case,
But yeah, I do agree with you. I do agree with you on this point, right? You need to sometimes you gotta jump out of the bridge for your daughter. Even though you don't know what happened, you can always you have to show first of all you gotta show restraint because you get locked up like this.
definitely, it's a
You-
minor at the end of the day that you're
Yeah,
you're you're approaching and threatening. Yeah,
yeah. So you have to be very careful how you approach these topics, but you have to have your daughter's back or your
yeah,
kids back, whether it's a daughter or a son. You have to have their back, and
yeah,
you can always figure out what really happened. I mean, you go and sit and try to figure out the story with the other kid in that case in the future. But this is the wrong way to do it. But you have to do it sometimes depending on the situation because we also saw the other story of the 15-year-old girl who got her head caved in on the pavement earlier last week, resulting in her having a brain damage. And the other kid, which is both are females, by the way, is probably going to get charged as an adult. Now the person who's a victim has probably forever brain damage, and now you're gonna get locked up.
yeah,
So the bullying, you have to stand up for your kids when you are aware of people bullying them because it can result in self deletion uh or the kids running up in the school and giving people one-way tickets to a Tupac
Valhalla, Valhalla.
to a
Yeah,
Tupac concert, you know.
yeah, yeah, and that's the other thing, right? um Nowadays you don't know who's carrying and who's not,
Yeah.
or maybe who's the person's father or
Oh,
brother
yeah, that is
or
true.
cousin.
That is true.
Because
But
another thing I'll tell you, when things like this happen, it's not uncommon. I don't know if it's common, but it's definitely not unheard of that the person will call a cousin or the uncle who they never talk to, who they always say stay away from him because
the
he's
crazy uncle,
he's the crazy uncle. Well, they'll call him daddy.
Uncle packs a Mac.
Should first ask later. And so that's always a risk. There was this case, KR, and I think we talked about it. I think you shared it with me actually about a man it was a lawyer, I guess, at a fast food restaurant in Mexico. And he was arguing with a guy that was behind the counter. At one point, he entered into the door, started hitting the guy in the face, just like hitting again and again and again and again and again. And then the guy was like just on the table, just lying. So he was standing up. What I'm gonna say, the way I'm gonna describe is not meant to be a joke, but it's just how it was. One part of his body, the lower part of his body, was standing up. The upper part of his body was laying down on the table, and the dude kept punching, and hitting and stuff. The guy was a lawyer, and he did it. It was definitely overboard. He went. It was after after he got 3 and he was done, but he kept on hitting. I think he must have gotten 20 in or something, 20, 25. 8 months later, the guy gets popped.
Yeah.
You can be a lawyer, and you can be stronger, but those things don't matter right now.
You know, it might fight back. The I was referring to Slowpoke Rodriguez. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
I'll show you after the show. I think it's probably copyrighted, so I cannot show it.
Okay, cool.
But it's a very Slowpoke always carries a gun. But anyway, hey man, I don't have any topics anymore. So yeah, you can
Yeah,
wrap it
me
up.
neither. Hey, thank you to every single one of you who are still watching. Whatever your thoughts are, let us know in the comment section below. Wait, I'm hearing an echo. That's right.
That's
Maybe
great.
you finish it. You finish it.
Okay. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching the show. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe by pressing the button down below. Rate the show by pressing that like button and follow us on all social media. Don't forget to share it with your friends, family, and of course, your biggest hater. You can run upon them and old school style. Hit them with the jab. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. Hey, that's old school. The day ones know what that is. The day ones know what that is. I want to thank you all for watching and wish you all a good evening. Peace out. I'm gonna help you.